please welcome Vince Poscente.
You might wonder what it's like to go 135 miles per hour on skis. Why don't we start it off this way? Let's take a run down the mountain together. In speed skiing, you go 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds. A Ferrari can only do it in 4.2. You get up to 125 miles an hour in 8 seconds, all heck is going to break loose. You want to be in a tight aerodynamic tuck. Does this seem normal so far? Perfect. Now the technique is you got to take the downhill ski, a 240 centimeter ski, 8 feet long. You have to pick it up, throw it out, turn it out in outer space, slap it around, and slap that in a tuck as you go 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds. Which is the easy part. It's at about 100 miles an hour, it starts to get very difficult. The air is pushing the body all around the skis, go whap, 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 like that. Do not separate your hands. It's called breaking your tuck. You're trying to push down the track, and the air's pushing you around. The skis are going like this. Riding a flat ski is very fast, but very unstable, because sometimes you might catch an edge, and if you catch an edge, it turns the body, it catches the air, and you're in this position. Bye. Don't worry, I won't fall off the chair. I'm a professional. Finally see that speed trap across the first beam, across the second beam. Miss the knee part, stand up, boom, blast the air on the chest. You slow down, and then it hits you that adrenaline rush, that, wow, I want to do that again. Wow, I want to do that again. Wow, I want to do that again. There you go. Your theme, lead to greatness. As we move forward in an environment that none of us have really experienced to this degree before, how do we lead to greatness when it feels like, in many ways, we're just trying to cope or manage the situation we're dealing with? If you've ever taught a child to ride a bicycle, 2-word advice we always give: keep pedaling. But what's the instinct on the bicycle? I'm not going to pedal. Are you crazy? I'm going to get balance. I'm not going to speed up. I want to get balance first, and then I'll pedal. Does that sound familiar? We want balance. We want balance in our world of more, faster, now. And the complexities of an economy that's just throwing that stuff at us like left, right, and center. And for us to even consider the notion of speeding up is counterintuitive. It's against our instinct. What do you mean, speed up? If you have employees, if you've got family, if you're part of any kind of organization that's headed in a direction, not only do you tell them where to go, but the why has to do with emotion. I call that the emotional buzz. And the emotional buzz is this: when a thought creates a physical reaction. A thought of marching in the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games sent a tingle up and down the spine. It was in the pit of the stomach. It was like, oh, I'd love to do that. Just that feeling and that imprint happened from the opening ceremonies at age 14, watching it on TV, to seeing it live in Calgary with those athletes marching for their countries. But the thought of marching in the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games was like, oh, I would love to have that. I'd like you to start thinking about what that emotional buzz will be for you in your life, with your firm, the people you serve, the people in your circle, your family. What emotional buzz? Why are you doing this? What service will this parlay into in your own personal life? So this is how corporate America competes. They want to do what the competition's not doing. If you do what the competition's not doing, then you will get more recruits. You'll fill your calendar more. You'll have more shows, more parties, more friends. Folks, switch it just a touch. Instead, do what the competition is not willing to do. And to do what the competition's not willing to do literally changes the game, because the question then becomes, what is that competition not willing to do? That high performer, typically, those are the things you're not willing to do either. Take that metaphorical mirror and be really, really, really honest and say, what am I not willing to do? And you know, this story of going from recreational skier to the Olympic Games is not just about a motivational can-do kind of thing. But the question is how? How can you take this story and apply it to your own franchise? Being able to lead to greatness, lead others to follow you. And bottom line, I want this for all of us in this room to have fun. When you own the solution, you immediately innovate. So what would you do? You call up a friend with a really fast car. Get skis, put skis on the ski rack with bindings facing up. Get in the pink rubber suit. Pink because it's free, basically. Darth Vader style helmet, got on top of the friend's car, clicked into the bindings, boom, took off down the road. At 100 miles an hour on top of your friend's car, you start to learn a lot. A lot about people, actually. People coming the other way. Because they're looking at you, you're looking at them, and you realize they think you're luggage. The biggest fear was not crashing the car, it was getting arrested. Folks, I'm wearing a pink rubber suit.
We all wander through life and we get clues from our outside world of what's next or what's important. And one of the most powerful lessons that I ever got was 3 months after the Olympic Games. And I was a bit lost. There's something called post-Olympic depression, if you will, where I just didn't know. I had no more goal to strive towards. It almost seemed empty. And I walked by the den of my folks' place. Dad was sitting in his favorite chair, as dads do. He had the TV on mute. He was talking on the phone to some buddy of his, something about the Olympic Games. I wandered by and heard these exact words. Those Olympic Games were the greatest experience of my entire life. Those Olympic Games were the greatest experience of my entire life. And I looked at him and I thought, really? And then he said something that every son or daughter should hear, at least once, and especially by accident. He said, I was so proud of my kid. And then it made sense. And the gift he gave me is winning is a journey of integrity. He didn't talk about the results. He talked about this path that we've taken together, the pride that resonates from being part of that journey. And that's when you know you've got something important. As a new dad myself, now I know, let's just have fun. Let's just have fun. We'll get there.
We all hit bumps. Health, relationship, physical, financial. Is our character defined by the bumps we hit, or is it defined by how we respond to those bumps? And your clientele, the people you work with, look to you for that example.
Let's wrap this up. Let's take one final run down the mountain together. And what I'd like us to do is to instill this, the confidence and the courage to point our skis downhill. And on the count of 3, you ready to commit? This is that emotional buzz you're committing to, the difference you make in your life and the lives of others. On the count of 3, you're going to commit to this and point your skis downhill. This is the next chapter. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Commit, point your skis downhill, get into a tuck. Actually, you got to face forward. Yeah. Actually, sit back down in the chair. It's way more comfortable that way. All right, you're picking up speed, 60 miles, 70 miles an hour. You're done with the competition. You're not willing to do. 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, 125 miles an hour, and the air's pushing the body around. Then it's control as we cross the finish line. We realized the mountain we just conquered. We not only did this, we qualified for that incentive trip. And when we see our friends and family waiting for us at the end, we know we followed our journey of integrity. And then we go, I want to do that again.